This is the HTTP 1.1 request header. So we will go through and we will brief what are these particular request headers and what is the significance of this. Okay, so we have mentioned over here the different type of request headers. So first one is accept character set, accept language, authorization, connection, content length, cookie, host, if modified since, if unmodified since, user agent, and there are different type of what you can say the request headers which comes into the picture. Okay, what is this accept is for? So this accept, the header specifies the MIME types that are the browser or the other clients can handle. A servlet that can return a resource in the more than one format can examine the accept header and decide which format to use. See, suppose for example, here a servlet can return an output in the different form which can be acceptable in the form of by the client or something. So what is that MIME type? Multipurpose internet mail extension. This header specifies the MIME type that the browser or the other client can handle. See, for example, whenever you are returning a particular format and whenever giving a response or something in a different ways, it will identify which is the suitable format and which can be handled by the browser or other type of a client and which suits to that particular browser, that is being acceptable by that browser, that will be identified using this header file. So here for example you can say that there are different type of image formats. Okay, so one is a PNG format of image is there, then JPEG format of image is there, and GIF format of image is there. There are different format of images there based on the compressions, based on the quality of that image, based on the size of that image, it will be calculated over there. So here for example the format of PNG, that image format of PNG is what you can say compressible. It is more advantageous compared to your GIF format. Okay, so here what you can say the compression advantages of PNG image format compared to GIF is more. So here your what you can say the server will check using this accept whether it is PNG or GIF is acceptable by the browser. If it is PNG, then it will convert that particular image in the form of PNG, and whether it is acceptable by the browser, then it sends that format of that image in that particular format to use. Then next comes accept character set. Okay, this header indicates the which character sets is acceptable by the client side or the browser. So here for example they have mentioned ISO 8859-1 is the one kind of what you can say the character set, and another one is Unicode one. So there are different types of character set. Which character set is being acceptable by that particular browser or your client machine or something that can handle, that will be identified using this character set, accept character set. Then accept encoding. What is this encoding is? So this header designates the types of encodings that the client knows how to handle. So here encoding in the sense you might have already gone through the compressions be made for that particular file. So the zip file is there, RAR file is there, and different type of compressions can be done on that particular format. So here in this case, if the server receives this particular header, that is accept encoding, so it is free to encode that page by using one of the formats specified and sending the content encoding response to the header to indicate that is done so. So here what you can say is the compression pages is before returning them is an valuable service because the cost of decoding is likely to be small compared with the savings in the transmission time. See, you can observe here, so just by sending that particular format directly, it takes a maximum transmission time compared to the compressed files. So here, whenever there are lot many files has to be sent to that particular what you can say the resource or as a part of a response, you can first compress. The decoding part of that compression file is lesser than the transmission of that particular or the real file or something. So the compression like a zip file or something that is acceptable by that particular client, that is mentioned in this accept encoding. Then it comes except language. The header specifies the client preferred languages. In case of servlet can produce the results in the more than one language. Okay, so here it specifies, this header specifies the client's preferred languages. Okay, which language the client prefers. In that particular language only it sends the response in that format. So whether you are interested in what you can say the Danish they have mentioned here, then the British English and the other type of English formats in which is the acceptable language for that particular browser or the client machine, that will be identified using this except language header file. Then it comes authorization. So this authorization comes for the security purpose. So this header is used by the clients to identify themselves whenever accessing a password protected web pages. Say for example, if you are accessing any kind of what you can say the bank application or any kind of a password protected applications, if you are accessing, then this header file authorization will serve your purpose for accessing those password protected web pages. Okay, next is the connection. In the connection header, this header indicates whether the client can handle a persistent HTTP connections. Okay, see suppose for example persistent connections permit the client or the you can say other browser to retrieve the multiple files. See for example HTML file with these several associated images. If you are accessing that, the connection must be alive every time. So with this single socket connection, thus saving the overhead of negotiating the several independent connections. See many times keep what you can say requesting for the connection and all, instead of that this connection will use the persistent what you can say the HTTP connections. Persistence means what, the permanent. In case of this is HTTP 1.1, in case of HTTP 1.0 it will be keep alive. The connection of type keep alive means it will be always on. So whenever you are accessing that particular this thing, the connection you can access that particular connection instead of overhead for the several independent connections. This is how it works. Then content length. Content length is a header file. So this header is applicable only to the post request and gives the size of the post data in bytes. Okay, suppose if I am sending a 10 what you can say the 10 bytes or 5 bytes, in the format of bytes, whatever data has been sent in the by using the method post, that will be identified in case of your content length, because the post uses the what you can say the body part of your HTML file. Then comes cookies. This header returns the cookies to servers that previously sent them to the browser. Okay, regarding this particular cookies we will study in depth in the next part. Okay, then if modified since. If modified since, what you can say, this header indicates that the client wants the page only if it has been changed after the specified date. Okay, so there is an option over here. So this option will be used because what you can say, the browser cache documents or reload them over the network only when they have changed. See, some browsers or something needs to be uploaded the files often and often. Say suppose for weekly once, 3 days in a once in a 3 days or something. So they need to oftenly uploaded for the several times or something. If it has been not modified, okay, since 3 days, then no need to upload a new format or no need to upload a new file once again, or the uploaded file need not to be upload. So in that case the updated file is not there, means you need not upload. So since modified is the kind of header file which indicates that is there any modification is being made to that particular file. If it is updated within those many days or there's many date, then only you can upload it, returns the value, or else no need to upload in that particular file. If modified since, it is the specified date. And then comes there is another this thing, if unmodified since. This header reverses if modified since. So that is in case of the modification is done. So here if the modification is not been done, then it returns the value, that is if unmodified since. Then it comes the referrer. So this referrer header indicates the URL or referring web page. What is this referring web page? Suppose for example, if I am there on a web page 1, so this is my web page 1. Okay. So while accessing this particular web page 1, if I click on another link which indicates or which takes me to the another web page 2. Okay, so whenever you are accessing this particular web page 2, who is the referrer over here is the web page 1 or web page 2. So whenever I am accessing this particular web page 2, in the header of what you can say, the referrer, in the referrer header or the referrer request header, the URL of this page 1 will be attached in this header. Okay, that is nothing but the referrer. So why is this required? So whenever for the tracking purpose, whenever how many what you can say the applications come, how many the traffic of the signal has been come from that particular port or something, to track that particular what you can say the managing the network or something, so this referrer can be helpful in that case. Then it comes the user agent. So this user agent usually refers the browser or the client or the another machine which is making the request and can be used to return the different content to the different type of browsers. Okay, so here this particular user agent returns the browser or any other type of a client which what you can say the client making the request with the different type of content in the different browsers. Okay, some browsers content in the same file or something that will be different, and they see, suppose for example in the Google Chrome it is different, it is not supported in the Mozilla Firefox or in the other cases of the browser or any other client machines or something. So this user agent returns that particular value. So we have gone through the different header files, request header files. One is accept. Okay, in this accept it specifies the MIME types that the browser or the other clients can handle. It checks that and verifies which is feasible for that particular format, then it accepts that. Accept characteristic, which standard characteristic you are using, that it returns. Encoding, any compression is to be made and it is acceptable by that this thing, so then it returns that value, that header file. Language, which language user prefers. Authorization, this is for the password protected web pages. Then it comes the connection. If the connection is you wanted to access the connection, and if you want to connection is to be alive for longer time, or whenever you wanted to access that particular connection, so you can use for connection. So in case of your HTTP 1.0, the keep alive for the connection will be used. Content length, this is for the post method which is used to send the data. How many data has been sent using the post method, in data will be given in the form of bytes. Okay, then if modified since, if the header indicates that the client wants a page if it has been changed for a specified date. Okay, then referrer. Okay, this referrer means it's an URL of an referring page. Just now we discussed, from one web page to another web page, if you have gone through that another web page using the link from web page 1, then the URL of the web page 1 will be attached in the web page 2, so that it is acting as a referrer to that web page 2. Then user agent is the header that identifies the browser or the other client making the request. So these are the some of the what you can say request headers which will be sent as a part of implicit data whenever client sends a request to the server. We'll go through one example. Yes? Okay, you can observe here. This is a one servlet what we have written. Okay, an HTTP servlet. The public class show request headers is the class name extends HTTP servlet. Okay, this is the interface mentioned for the servlet. Show request headers is the servlet name. Then we do have a service method of that particular servlet, that is do get. If they are using the get method, then do get call will get activated. If it is the post, then it will be do post in that case. Okay, it requires two what you can say the objects, the parameters. One is the request object and one is the response object, and which may throw a servlet exception in case, and it may also throw an IO exception in case of the input output format. Okay, this already we have gone through. What is this? The response.set content type. That set content type decides the MIME type, the text or HTML. You may get your output either in the form of text or HTML. Print writer and the outwriter classes. I have created the object of print writer class to print the values, and this will get those values. And string, the title, that what you can say the servlet example, so that they have mentioned request headers. So you can observe that I have highlighted some of the methods. Request.get method. So this request.get method returns which method is being used to send the parameters from client to server or something. So that method, suppose if it is a get, it returns the get. If it is post, it will be post. If there are other methods are also there, put, delete, options, head or something, whichever methods has been used, it returns that particular message. Then request.get request URI. So that particular URI of that servlet will be displayed over there. Then request.get protocol, which protocol you are using, it returns that particular protocol. Suppose if it is HTTP 1.1, it returns that value. If it is the another value of a protocol or any kind of other protocol we are using, this particular method get protocol returns that particular method. Okay, then you can observe here in the similar format. In the last program we have gone through the enumeration and all. So we have created an enumeration using the different methods that has more element, it returns the true until unless there are different values which needs to be accessed in that particular enumeration. Okay, what we are accessing over here, so you can observe the method that is get header names, which all accesses the header names or the request headers at a one stretch. So no need to access every time the get header name for the character, get header name for the user agent, get header name for the what you can say the accept character set or something. Instead of that, using the enumeration, I am accessing all the header files of that particular request. Okay, let us go through the output, what it is returning over here. You can observe the output. Yes, this is the output of that particular program. Request method is get, which method we are using, it is returning that method. Request URI, this is the URI, it is mentioning of that particular servlet. Request protocol, that is HTTP 1.0, which protocol you are using, it is returning that using get protocol method. So these are the what you can say the request headers what we are interested in. The connection, keep alive, because we are using HTTP 1.0, because of that the value is keep alive. Yes, connection is always on. Then user agent, so for example they have taken the Mozilla Firefox, that version has been given, language has been given, Windows 98, which what you can say the office you are using, that it is returning. Host, the local host it is returning. Accept, what type of MIME type it can be acceptable from that particular browser, that is it is giving. That accept image it is giving, what type of values, the different formats for that image acceptable by that particular browser it is giving. Accept encoding, the compression is zip file. Language, English it has given. Character set, which is supported by that particular what you can say the browser, is ISO 8859 or UTF-8 or something, which character set is being supported by that particular browser, that is being mentioned over here. So this is how the output of that particular program looks like. Okay, this is all about your HTTP request headers. what are the different request headers, what is the significance of that particular request headers, how it will be utilized, where it will be applicable, and we have gone through one simple program how your request headers will be there in your request. Okay, fine. Then we will move to the another what you can say, the new concept called cookies. What is this cookies? So cookies are a small bits of textual information. Okay, cookies are a small bits of textual information that a web server sends to a browser and that the browser returns unchanged when later visiting the same website or domain once again. So here you can observe, suppose for example so this is my browser, okay, and this is my server. Whenever a browser or a client machine sends a request for the first time, so I will be mentioning R1 for request 1, okay. So whenever the server is giving response back to the browser at that time, so I will mention over here, so let us say request 1 and I will mention it as response 1. Whenever server is giving response to that particular client or the browser, so it is going to attach the cookies along with that response. Whenever client sends a request for the first time, there will be no cookies attached. Whenever response is coming back from the browser, along with that response, your server is going to add the cookies with that response, okay. So it will comes and sits over your browser. Whatever values and whatever cookies is been sent from the server as a part of a response, that will be residing in the client part. Whenever the same client is requesting for the another time, so let us say for the request 2 for the same domain or same server or something, so whenever the same browser or the same client is requesting for, then this server is going to identify that particular user by those cookies that he has already visited, he has already a part of that system and he knows, and because of that it won't what you can say, consider it as a new request. So this is how the cookie is going to work, okay. So second time when this same what you can say, the client has been sent a request to that particular server, it identifies and says that he is not an what you can say, new request has been come from the client, it is an already existing request. Now you can go through this. Cookies are small bits of textual information that a web server sends to a browser. Yes, this is the web server. Cookies are a small textual information that web server sends to the web browser and the browser returns unchanged when the visiting the same website or domain for the second time and for the further purposes. Then another thing is you can name the cookies or you can define the cookies in the another way also, that is cookies are text files stored in the client computer and they are kept for a various information tracking purposes. Yes, we will discuss what are the advantages and the benefits of your cookies. Yes, cookies are the text files that stores on a client computer and they are kept for various information tracking purposes. So you can go through the cookie will be having the name that is called as cookie name along with a single value that is cookie value, means it's a pair of two what you can say the arguments, a cookie name and a cookie value, and optional other attributes such as the comment and the path, the domain qualifiers, the maximum age and the version number of that cookie. These are the optional attributes, but mainly it has to have a cookie name and cookie value. Okay. In another this thing, so by default each request is considered as a new request by default. In cookies technique, we add a cookie with a response from the servlet. So the cookie is stored in the cache of the browser. After that, if requested is sent by the user, cookie is called with a request and by default. Thus, it recognizes that particular user is an old user. He has already visited that site or the domain. Okay, what are the types of cookies? There are mainly two types of cookies. So one is non-persistent cookie and persistent cookie. The persistent means what? The permanent in another sense you can say it as. The non-persistent cookie, it is valid for a single session. It will be valid for only single session, and it is removed each time when the user closes the browser. So whenever as much as the user is on the browser, he is accessing that particular site or something, for one session only, this particular cookie is having its a lifetime. So okay, once the user closes that browser, that cookie value and name will be vanished from that storage. Okay, that you can say, call it as non-persistent cookie. Then it comes the persistent cookie. In the persistent cookie, we do have, it is valid for multiple sessions. It is not removed each time when a user closes the browser. It is removed only when a user log out or sign out. So whenever, if you are accessing the system, if you are accessing the machine, you are working on it, but you have closed the browser, means it does not to worry. This persistent cookie will have a value which is stored in that browser or something. So if it is valid until unless you are working on that particular this thing. So once you log out or sign out, then only that persistent cookie will be lost. So this is persistent means, in the sense, another sense you can say it as the permanent cookie, which will be stays for the longer time, and the non-persistent cookie is the one time, what you can say, the session, until unless you are working on that session, it will be on or alive. When you close that browser, that will be closes its lifetime. Then we will discuss the, what you can say, the benefits of cookies. Okay, what are the benefits of cookies? We have listed over some of the benefits. Identifying a user during an e-commerce session, avoiding username and the password, customizing a site, focusing on advertisement or advertising. Cookies are maintained at a client side. So these are all the what you can say, the different type of advantages or the benefits over the cookies. What is that? First one, identifying a user during an e-commerce session. See, suppose if a user who is working on an online carting or an online shopping or something, if a particular user is working on an online shopping and he added some of the carts, he added some of the items to the cart, okay, then he continued his shopping. So whenever he adds the next item to the cart, it identifies that, your cookie is going to identify that, okay, he is an old customer, or sorry, the old what you can say, the person who is already accessed this, and he is an been accessing that session from the longer time. So in the another sense, since the HTTP connection usually closes after each what you can say, the page or sent, whenever user selects a new item to add to the cart, how does it remembers? It is because of the cookie. So identifying the user during the e-commerce session. So whenever you add a new item to the cart or something, it don't ask you to put your credentials or the informations once again. It identifies the users during that particular session. So then it comes remembering or avoiding the username and password. So as we know, so the cookie is an textual information which has been sent from the server to the browser, and that cookie value will be saved in a browser or at the client part. So whenever you are accessing many times you are accessing the same what you can say, the account or something, let it be your bank account, let it be your Facebook, or let it be your any type of what you can say, the Gmail account or something. So every time it is a tedious job to enter your username and password. So many times you have visited that particular site or something. So you don't want that cumbersome. So because of that, so your cookies have a benefits over that particular aspect, that is nothing but avoiding the username and password. So that username and password will be saved as a cookie value, and that cookie name and cookie value will be stored in a browser. So whenever you click and whenever you visit the same account once again, your username and password will be remembered. So you might have observed that whenever you once for the first time, if you log in for a Gmail account, so you are going to enter your Gmail account and then you are going to enter the username and password. So it will ask you one option saying that remember, do you want to remember your username and password? If you say yes, and that value will be saved as a part of your cookie, whenever next time you visit that particular Gmail account or a Facebook account or any type of bank account, it is not actually what you can say very secure to use cookies for the bank applications, but for another type which will be your personal, not the low security purpose applications or something, if you are accessing, in that case you can use the cookies. Okay, so the Gmail will be used, that username and password of your Gmail will be used as a part of cookie. Whenever you visit the same, once again it won't ask you to enter the password, so it accesses the already saved password in that and using which it accesses. So that is nothing but you are avoiding username and password. Then customizing a site. What is this customizing a site? So whenever many portal sites let you customize, okay, the look of the main page. They may there are the different example. They might let you what you can say, they pick the weather report. Okay, then it may be the what you can say, the stock what you can say, the symbols or stock market information or any kind of a sports information. Which are the latest has been coming in the recent this thing. The cookies will customize those main pages or the websites along with those what you can say, the advertisements you can say it as, or it focuses on that particular customization. See, suppose right now the live match is going on, anything like live session is going on, means the cookies using that customized, the main page will be customized using the cookies, and the information of that live session will be displayed in some of the portion of your what you can say the screen of that particular customer. Okay, so here suppose for example if I am accessing a Google or something, whichever any news feeding is there, the live update has been come, so I will be getting the notification regarding that. So there are the different types of customization available with the usage of your what you can say, the cookies. So that is nothing but customizing a site. The main page will be different, but cookies can customize that site and whichever you are interested on. So based on that it will be given. So previously if the same user has accessed the stock market values or something, okay, then he has accessed the cricket live score or something. So whenever based on his interest also, cookies can remember the user focuses and it can identify the user interest, and those values will be posted on your wall. Then it comes focusing the advertisement. Okay, focusing the advertisement means in whichever portion and whichever this thing you are interested in, only that value will be identified by the cookie and it is going to display. Suppose for example, first time if I entered Java servlets in a Google, okay, what I am saying, if I go to Google, I entered Java servlets, okay. Next time when I enter the Java as a part of my preference, the first option it is giving is Java servlet only. Okay, so simply if you type a Java or JAVA something, along with immediately first preference of mine will be given to my laptop or to my system saying that Java servlets or something. So there are different types of what you can say, the other Java searches also which may be searched by the other person on a Google. So that may be the Java hotels. Okay, the Java hotels is an famous hotels which was there in Indonesia, and the Java motor vehicles that right now they are there in the market. So once you click on the Java, it won't give you as a preference Java hotel or Java motorbike or something. As a part of a user preference, first it will display the Java servlet only. So that is nothing but a focusing on advertisement. So in which you are interested in which user having interest in, so that will be focused and it will be displayed as per the user's interest. So then it comes cookies. Okay, the cookies are maintained at the client side. So there will be no burden at the server side. So server don't have to store the so many values of a cookie name and cookie value, and that will be too much burden for the server for every time when it hits. So it will be a tedious job to send a response back, and or loading of that servlet and loading of that particular database will be difficult for the server side every time. So instead of that, your cookies will be stored at the browser side, so that burden will be not there for a server. So cookies are maintained at client side. Okay, the benefits: identifying a user during an e-commerce session, avoiding the username and the password, customizing the site, focusing on advertisement. Cookies are maintained at the client side. Okay, then it comes the disadvantages of cookie. So right now we have discussed what are the advantages of your cookies also. There are some disadvantages of your cookies also. Let us discuss. So first one is, it will not work if the cookie is disabled from the browser. All these features what we discussed right now are, if their cookie is being disabled from the browser, so you are not going to get those many usefulness from that particular cookie. So you cannot access the cookie if the browser is disabled from that particular session or for that particular cookie. You just go to, what you can say, go to the browser, go to the settings in that particular browser, you will be find the cookie settings in that particular format. So that setting for a cookie is to be enabled, then only you are going to get the advantage of the cookies or something. If once that you disable that particular cookie from the settings from that browser or something, you are unable to access the cookie. Okay, that will be not working if cookie is disabled from the browser, and only textual information can be set in the cookie object. So this is also another one kind of a disadvantage, where the cookie is only going to store an textual information. Okay, so it will not store any other type of format except text. So sometimes it may be image, sometimes it may be in another format where the user wants to store his values or cookie values or something. So that will be not supported in case of your cookies, because it will have, or it will store only the textual information, and if the browser is disabled with that cookie, you are not going to access that. You will not be allowed to access that particular cookie. So there is an example given. Gmail uses cookie technique for login. If you disable the cookie, Gmail won't work. Just you can try with your Google account. You disable the cookie and try to access your Gmail. So that may end up with some of the undefined this thing. Then another what you can say, the disadvantage of cookies, the privacy problem occurs when sites rely on cookies for overly sensitive data. For example, the cookie will be storing the data, yes, at the client side or something. So whenever there is a high, what you can say, the sensitive data is involved in that particular matter, it may be either in the form of the defense applications or defense news or something, or it may be your banking application or something. Some of these sites, they do require a security purpose. In that case, you cannot rely on a cookie, because that value can be accessed from anywhere. So that can be accessed using the cookies. So your cookie is not good for the sensitive data. It is only for your purpose. If it is not so much security or secured one is required for that, then you can access those cookies, or else it's not a good option. Then comes, we will discuss some of the constructor and methods which is specified for the cookies. So first one is the constructor, the cookie itself. Fine. The cookie is the constructor which constructs a cookie with no values or no what you can say, the parameter list or something. It just creates a cookie. And another one is cookie string name and string value. This particular constructor constructs a cookie with a specified name and specified value of type string. Then there are different types of methods which will be listed for a particular cookie, that is set max age, fine, in the form of seconds. Yes, sets the maximum age for the cookie in seconds. See, suppose if you want to, that cookie is to be alive for 1 year or something, you have to mention that time, that is maximum age for that cookie. Along with that, you have to mention the how many seconds for. So along with that, so it will be alive for that much time. Then public string get name. It returns the name of the cookie, and the name cannot be changed after the creation. You have already created that cookie, and this get name will return the name of the cookie. Then it comes the another method, get value. So this is for the get name, what we have entered over here, and this is for the get value, is the value specified as an argument for that cookie constructor. The value will be given. This returns the value of the cookie. Then set name. So if you wanted to change the name of the cookie, then you can go for the set name method. Okay. So we have gone through the different constructors and different methods which are used and which are helpful while creating and accessing the cookies and all. The servlet cookie API. What is this? So this session explains creating of a cookie, how you are going to add the cookie in a response, and what are the rules for creating the cookies and all, then how you are going to access the values from that particular cookie. First one is creation of the cookie, adding it in the response, then accessing the cookie values and all. Okay, so first part is nothing but you are creating a cookies. So you create a cookie by calling a cookie constructor, just now we discussed. So which takes the two strings, one is cookie name and one is the cookie value. So by calling this particular constructor with two parameters, one is name for the cookie and one is value for that particular cookie, so you can create a cookie. So one thing you need to remember is neither the name nor the value should contain a white space, that whenever you are creating that particular name or the value as an argument to that constructor of the cookie, so you cannot contain what you can say the white space or any other following characters. They have mentioned the angle bracket, brace, equal to, and some special symbols, at the rate, question mark, colon. So these special characters or these characters and the white space cannot be used while creating the name and the value of your cookies. Okay, so creating a cookie part is over. So then it comes placing a cookie in a response headers. Okay, why response? You can observe here. So in the particular this thing, so first we have gone through the browser, and server is going to send it to the client as a part of response. When server is sending the response to the client, at that part the cookies were added. So placing the cookies in the response headers. The cookie inserted into the set cookie HTTP response header by means of the add cookie. So this add cookie is the method to add the cookies in a responses. This is an inbuilt method. That add cookie method is an inbuilt method using which is of type HTTP servlet response. In this particular, we do have a method called add cookie which adds the cookie in the response. Okay. Then the method is called add cookie. It is not set cookie because already the previously specified cookies headers are left alone and the new header is set. So using which you cannot set the cookie. You should not use the set cookie to create a new cookie or something. So it should be an add cookie only. So when you call a set cookie, that value has been already set for the previous values or something. Add cookie means first time you are adding that particular cookie value. So here is an example. The cookie is the constructor, user cookie is the value or the object what I have taken, new cookie, user is the name, and this is the value for that particular cookie. So this is constructor, object, new cookie to create a object of that, name of the cookie and value of the cookie. So after that, so I do have constructed a cookie with username and the password. This user cookie is nothing but this object dot set maximum age. So I'm setting the maximum age, so that much time that cookie will be alive. After that it will be vanished. So here you can observe I have mentioned some of the values. For example, it will be like a 1 year. So I have given in the values, I have given in the integer, and so it will be like that. This is the format for so many times. So for so many times that particular cookie will be alive. So that user set maximum age. So that I have mentioned here, response dot add cookie. So why response? You can observe here it is adding at the point of a response. So response dot add cookie, we are adding that cookie along with the that particular value. So this user name for that cookie, sorry, the cookie name and the cookie value will be get added to the response of that part. So first what we have done is we have created a cookie, we have added the cookie in a response, then reading the cookies from the client. Okay, so here you can observe to read the cookies that come from back from the client, you call get cookies. So this get cookies method will returns all the cookies on the HTTP servlet request. This call returns an array of cookie objects. Yes, this get cookie method returns an array of cookie objects corresponding to the values that came onto the cookie HTTP request headers. Okay, this is how you are going to read the cookies from that particular client using the get cookies method. Okay, let us go through one example. So here we do have one client part, client machine. So we are using HTML as a part of a client, and we will be having a servlet as a part of a server. Just for example purpose, we are sending a name and a value, some two values, some parameters from client to, we can say, to the server. How your server accepts it and it adds in a part of a response, and that will be saved in a browser part, and how it will be displayed using the servlet, that we will go through. Okay, this is an simple HTML head, title for the title purpose. This is all you know, the body part. Then form action is equal to new servlet, method is equal to get, which is that. So whenever this is my server right now, this is my server, whatever parameters I am sending, that parameter values have to reach this particular server. This is my servlet name, that comes under the action part. Then it comes method is equal to get. Using the get method I am sending the parameters to this particular servlet. What are those values I have taken? So that is the first name. Just for example purpose we have taken the input type is equal to text of type text, the name is equal to the first name value. That parameter I am sending the, what you can say, to the servlet, then first name and the last name. So two parameters I am sending to this particular server or the servlet using the method get. So I will be having a button to submit. Yes, you can observe the type is equal to submit, value is equal to submit. Whenever you click on this particular submit button, control immediately goes to the action part of your form. It identifies that servlet and the parameters will be sent to that servlet using the get method. Then the control comes to that particular servlet. So this is all about the servlet. Okay, you can observe here the public class new servlet extends HTTP servlet is an interface. Protected void the do get, the service method accepts two values as a part of argument. One is request and one is response object, which may throw a server exception and IO exception that we have already discussed. Content type, in this format you are going to get the output. Then the print writer and the get writer classes, and using which you can print the values. Okay, the first name, the last name, which we have sent from the client. Request dot get parameter, So we have already discussed how this get parameter and the different methods are working. So this get parameter names, get parameter values, get parameter map, there are different versions of this. So this get parameter is applicable and suitable only when there are limited amount of values to be sent from browser to the client. So here we do have only two values, first name and last name. So we are getting those values, request.get parameter, which has been sent along with the request. Okay. So now you have to look this particular part of the code. Okay. Cookie is the constructor, cookie constructor. C1 is the object I have taken. New cookie. So first name, the value what we have taken. Response dot add cookies C1. So you can observe here. So first part is creation of the cookie, adding that cookie value in our response, then getting the values from that particular cookie. This is how we are going to access the cookies. So first I am going to create a cookie for the first value, that first name. So using the constructor called cookie. So this is my cookie constructor for the first name. So response dot add cookie, which the method used to add the cookie to the response, that is the C1 what we have created right now. Then I am going to create another constructor for the second value, that is cookie. Same constructor. C2 is for the last name or the another parameter which we are going to pass. New cookie, last name, then response dot add cookie, that C2. So I have created and I have added in the response. So now I am getting the values that you can observe. Using the get name, it returns the name, get value, it returns the value. C1 is for the first parameter and C2 is for the second parameter what we have set over there. Okay. Now you can observe. So here using the get cookie constructor, we are accessing all the parameters at one stretch. Okay. We are accessing all the parameters at one stretch using the get cookies method over here. So cookie is the array that we have created to access all the values from that. So request dot get cookie, this get cookie method will be used to access all the values from that particular array. So it starts from 0 until c dot length, means it accesses all the elements from that particular array and it accesses and it is gone. So here you can observe we are accessing the C1, the get name. This particular method get name returns the value of a first cookie and this get value for that particular cookie. Similarly, the second value for the cookie can also be accessed. So because of that we are using the get cookies method. So how much values you have sent, that all values will be accessed and that particular get cookie name and value will be displayed over there. So this is how the cookies will be working based on that. So in the today's session, yes, in the today's session we have learned what do you mean by HTTP request headers. Whenever client sends a request, along with the explicit data, that user data or form data, along with that the browser details are also sent as a part of a request to the server. Those requests are nothing but your HTTP request headers, and we have gone through the different types of what you can say, the request headers, accept character set, accept encoding, then user agent. There are different type of what you can say, the request headers we have gone through for the different purpose, for what purpose they will be used and benefited for. Then it comes, next part is the cookie. In the cookie, so we have gone through how cookies are created and how we have added that cookie in a response part and how we are going to access that particular cookie from that array that we have accessed, and the different benefits of that particular cookies have been explained over here. Thank you.